What's going on, everybody? It's Answer X back with another manga review, and today we have Chapter 75, Part 2 of choujinx. And let's just get right into it. I mean, I feel like there's so much to cover, building off of last chapter. Like I said in the last chapter, I think, you know, Ishida knows that we all think that Sato is up to something, right? And I think he put him in a position where he could be a red herring, right? Where he looks like the bad guy. We don't know if he killed Mato. We don't know, but we think he did, right? And that's why I think um the prophecy game and Sato's 10 steps ahead. I think he knows where the prophecy will go to a certain extent, and then after that he's trying to put the pieces into place to maybe help him. And that's why I do believe that he could be a red herring in this. Like, I won't be surprised if, ultimately he is a good guy in a sense. And that's why they introduced Jing in the last chapter, saying that, like, yeah, he's on Queen's side because he wants to get a heart, right? Like, and it makes sense. Like, he's like, I need a heart, because I will die, right? And I think that's the same thing if we're going off the Sato theory that he's a queen vessel. Maybe he wants to be free of his of Queen himself. So, that would be amazing. But I think we have so many. We got the Sword Clan, and we have. I'm trying to think of who else would be a good person that would be like, oh, that makes sense on why they killed Mato and they set these things into place. Because if it's not Sato, it has to be somebody that, like, feels good, right? Like, I don't want to just it to be Sandek and we're just like, oh, Sandek, like, what was the reason? Because he's personally affected by prophecy, right? He had to kill his own brother, so, like, he's killing. But at the same time, you could flip that to make sense where he does kill Mato because, but at the same time, we had the whole theories of, her head was clean cut off, so we're thinking it's a sword. Um, but Ishida knows that he has a gem of a character on his hand, man. This is like some Charles Xavier. He knows that we're all thinking that he's up to something, right? Because that last chapter, he was making moves, right? It's no, you can't tell me that he's not 10 steps ahead. And that's specifically why he has him. Look at the way he's posing in the beginning of this chapter. As if he's thinking, as if he's planning, as if what is his next move? Ishida is so smart, man. This is an underrated gem of a manga out right now. It really is the best writing, has the best paneling out right now. You really can't convince me. Just look at him. He knows he has aura too. That's another thing. But there's just so much going into it with character motivations in this series right now, like how they're kind of like hidden. Like, we don't really know. We know kind of how Azuma is. We know Ellie's motivation yet? We don't, right? We don't know Tokyo, and I think it's kind of telling that the very ending of this chapter, we see Tokyo's kind of motivation come out, which we will get to. So I just think this chapter was short and sweet, and I think he's at the point where he's like, okay, listen, we're gonna move into this prophecy. We're gonna be done with this war. Everyone's gonna die, and that's just how it is. And I think Sato says it pretty much outright. And I think even Tokyo does. And let's just get into it. And this is how you know Ishida knows that we were listening and thinking that Sato is up to something. Because why does he start the next panel with a lie detector Choujin? That means you know that the readers think Sato is up to something. We all think he's something up to something. And does this mean uh this is the only part I'm a little confused on. Is the lie detector Choujin a part of Sato's team, or was she sent from Yamato? So either way, but it doesn't matter because he knows that we think he's up to something. But we're not dumb. We know Sato can get around a lie detector Choujin. That's a layup for him. That's easy. He knows exactly what he's doing. And that's why this whole conversation is, she says Kurihara is doing what? Yes, he's leaving Higo, but he's the one holding the place together. Apparently, he's going to Moge, one of Oda's prophecy. Notice how he doesn't say, like, he doesn't call her, any, like, the honorifics. He's just like calling her last name, right? So let's keep it going. He said, I agree. He should at least be transferred, even if it means losing Higo. He's valuable, so it's worth stationing him elsewhere. But whether that place should be Moge, well, and he's being honest. Like, and this is what's so funny in this conversation. He's not lying. He's generally saying that he doesn't want um him going there. He's openly outright against the prophecy. He even says it later in this panel. But I like this part with his look here. right? He says, I'm just a doting parent who'd like to see how high his fledgling can soar. He says, it's unfortunate I haven't had the opportunity yet, but as part of the Allied forces, the correct choice is to prioritize Odo's prophecies. Does he think that? Because it's so tongue in cheek there, right? Because he says it's we have to prioritize Odo's prophecies, but later he says, I don't even believe in these things and I hope they fail. So he said, thanks to her prophecies, they're our strongest weapon to outsmart Guelta. But it's like he outsmarted Guelta by getting their own victory. So you see what I mean? Like he knows the steps ahead, which is why this battle is just so interesting. And then later he says, "Look, we'll give a vote of no confidence. Then the prophecies will have no legs, sway over our tactics. Ellie would be demoted from oracle to mere fortune teller." And that's exactly what he wants. He doesn't want this because if we're going off the theory of that he killed Mato, it said, what was the thing on the back of the wall? It said, no more prophecies. We don't need that. We don't need them to lead. And then he says, Ellie isn't the beast Choujin that Sora was looking for, so it wouldn't be surprising if there are imperfections in her prophecies. That sounds a bit blasphemous. And then she's like, also, what are you doing? And this is why this chapter is just so brilliant. He says, I'm going to Yamato. So he already knows that everything will fall. Nanasu will fall. And he's like, I'm just going to go meet everybody in Yamato because it's all going to fall anyway. So might as well pack my bags and get going. And that's why the next panel, it's, Shant and, I can't remember. I keep forgetting his name. I just feel like the guy is such a Komori. I feel like he's such like a kind of forgettable character, his own music thing. I just feel like he's forgettable. I really don't care about him, but I do like Shant. I just feel like they're giving her more limelight to build up. They're doing like this Ellie style with her paneling and her faces, but like I just don't care enough just about her yet. She's cool. I like her Choujin. I just don't really care about her just yet. But the next panel I didn't put in here is them saying we're unpacking and repacking. The theme of just leaving, right? It's over. It's without being said. It's this chapter. It was I think this chapter was short and sweet to the point that we are moving. Nanasu will fall. Everybody's gonna have to meet back in Yamato, and then maybe that's when the next prophecy will take place. But they'll be able to get rid of Ellie. I don't know. Like Sato knows. We got to talk to him. So I like this part. Simply she's just like, why did he hide the prophecy from me? Why did Azuma, hide this prophecy from me? And then we find out that no one knew. We just found out. We just found out 3 days ago. So she's like, what the heck? We found out about the prophecy 3 days ago too. So basically the same time as us. How are they even leading us? Exactly. And look, it's all this, the seeds of doubt have been sown. And that is kind of this point of this chapter is that, and another point I didn't even mention is that the last two directors of what was it, Nowaki died. And he was like, I hope I'm not the next, like the seeds of doubt have been sown. No one's really trusting Ellie's prophecies. This is going to be the final straw and Nanasu will fall. And I'm interested to just see what direction he's taking because he's already speeding it up, right? So I like it, but I don't because I did want to see more war chapters, right? Me personally, right? I think as all of us as Tokyo fans, we want to see Tokyo fighting. We want to see him in action more. But he's like, you know what? Look, you'll get that later, I guess. I hope we do. But basically, he's fast forwarding this, and I hope he does. And I'm not gonna say he's not, but I just hope he does take it back a little slower because we know about the Dragon arc in Tokyo Ghoul. That was terrible. So I hope he doesn't like fumble here. He has something he really needs to unfold. We see Azuma upset and he wants to go to another. He'll go to another side, but make it done properly. Make sure Sato's motivations and actions are moved properly. Tokyo, we still need work on Tokyo. Like we're adding too much right now. And I hope this is what I'm taking it as is that he's purposely removing this war. He's purposely, hey, yep, everything will fall. People will go back. People will switch sides. And then now we can focus on Tokyo's story. That's kind of what I'm taking it out is he's removing pieces so that we could just focus on Tokyo. So Apparently, they found about. Yep, we already talked about that. But this is the important part. He says, "Captain, do you believe in the prophecies? Like, actually believe?" And he says, "It doesn't matter whether I do or not. I haven't got a clue about the prophecies even are, so there's nothing to believe in anyway." And the reason why that's actually kind of upsetting and sad is he's sitting here telling them that I believe in you guys, and you're gonna live, and you're fine without me. But you're saying the opposite because you know that they're gonna die when as soon as you leave. He knows it. And I don't like that he kind of is just accepting that right now. That's how I took this, to be honest. You may think that's a stretch, but I think it is because he's like, I don't believe in anything, but I believe in Ellie, right? I believe in Ellie, and he says I believe in her, but that doesn't mean that necessarily you're gonna survive. And I just didn't like that, and that's why we get this very ending. Look, come on, captain or no captain, Higo's skies belong to the vultures. We saw the flag planted, and the chapter ends, but it's very ominous, right? Like it's like we see you Brega in the skies right as soon as Tokyo leaves. It's like, yeah, man, they're dead. And I feel like Tokyo's kind of like okay with that. And I'm like, what's Tokyo up to almost in a sense, you know? I don't like that he's just so quick to be like, yep, we're done, you know, and later, and that's kind of why he never even maybe got invested in everyone because he knew what was going to happen. Um, but overall, that was a quick, short chapter. A little disappointed in Tokyo's behavior there at the end because to me, that just he seems like he's okay with them dying, and I think it was pretty evident. But let's I want to hear your thoughts below. I mean, I think this was an amazing chapter. I think we see a lot of Sato's motivation. I think he's 10 steps ahead. Just to recap it, Sato's 10 steps ahead. Tokyo is about to be the main focal point in these next coming chapters. Um, I'm still iffy on Shant and the musician dude. I just don't. It's just because I think we haven't seen Tokyo, right? Like as a fan of Tokyo, as a fan of this story, we haven't seen him enough, and we've seen all these other people where I'm just like, yo, I don't even care about you right now. You know, like you're cool, yeah, cool, you're cool, but do I care about you? I need to see everybody else, right? I need to see more Azuma, more Ellie. Like, where's that? You know, I even Sandik, like, I want to see him. You know, so let me know what you guys think about this chapter below, and let's see what you guys are thinking about predictions for the next chapter. Amster out.